Hi. So I've been at this hospital for a few days now, and I've noticed that there are a few differences between my previous hospital and this hospital. It's really the easiest way, I guess, to figure out what a baseline in a Japanese hospital is by being at more than one, and so I've done that. So I thought I would share a few of the differences that I've noticed between the previous hospital that I was at and the current hospital. So first, the previous hospital I was at was an acute care, short-term stay hospital, which is why they kicked me out and why I'm at this place, which is a longer-term rehabilitation hospital. So some of the differences have to do with that. Some similarities that are between this hospital and the previous one. There are many nurses, lots of nurses. They're hard to keep track of. And it's hard to know who's responsible for who, and so you're just kind of like, are you my nurse, or somebody else my nurse? It's hard to tell, so it's just any nurse, I guess, if I really need one, which I rarely do. And they seem to come and go really quickly. They're here, they're here for 8 hours or 12 hours, it's hard to tell. But for me, I have one or two interactions with them of a few minutes each, and then they're gone. So it seems like they're coming and going really quickly, whereas they actually are here for quite a while. Another similarity about the hospital is that it is filled with old people. I think that is probably true just about anywhere. Just old people-dominated hospitals. I am by far the youngest person in this hospital. I think the average age here is probably 80. I've been told there's someone here who's 104, but I've been told that if someone is here and then they're in their 50s, they're young, and so I've got that beat by a couple decades. But also the people here, while old, are generally less broken than the people at the acute care hospital. These people are on the mend, and so they might need some work and are progressing slowly, but they're not in a more sort of critical stage of care, which is what they were at the previous hospital, where they needed medications and surgeries and things like that. It's also very hot in this hospital. They keep it quite warm. Average temperatures probably in the upper 20s, and they keep the humidity really low, so it's very hot and dry, and I'm drinking a lot of fluids. Differences. So one of the biggest differences for me is that this hospital doesn't steal my wheelchair away from me at night. At the previous hospital, I'm not sure why, but every night the nurse would come and turn the lights out, and they would steal my wheelchair away, and I would be trapped in my bed. Which doesn't sound too bad until you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and you're not left with many options. I think the one that they would have preferred is if I called the nurse, have the nurse come to my bed and go, "What would you like?" And if I said, "I would like my wheelchair, please," they could then bring my wheelchair to me. I could then get into my wheelchair, go to the bathroom, come back to bed, and then have the nurse then steal my wheelchair away from me again, and thereby trapping me once again in my bed. It would be a fun little nighttime adventure, and great if sometimes you weren't, racing against the clock. But here, luckily, I'm no longer stranded. I've got my wheelchair, they leave it with me at night, and so yeah, I'm no longer confined to my bed, which is nice. As I said earlier, this hospital is definitely much more of a long-term stay hospital. They have some services here that they didn't have at the other hospital. Certainly wasn't aware of them having them at the other hospital. Things like haircuts. If I want my haircut, I can pay some guy 1,500 yen, and he will come to my bed and cut my hair for me. There's also a laundry service that's charged on a monthly basis, which I can use, or there's a coin laundry also on the floor, which I think is probably the one that I'm going to use. I've seen a nail salon, someone was having their nails done. There's a little shop that I can buy soap and razors and shampoo if I need it. But also there's some clothing that they have. They're like old granny kind of clothes that you can buy at this place. So I guess if you are here long enough that you want to change your wardrobe around a little bit, that option is available to you. I also saw a poster somewhere for massages that were available. May or may not partake in that. I'm not sure. Probably not. There's also, like, on the poster boards, they post like daily puzzles to, I guess, help stimulate people's minds so they're not just stuck staring out the window. The puzzles, of course, are in Japanese, so not much help to me. And then I think I've seen some posters for various events that happen every couple weeks or something like that. The daily schedule here is about the same as the other hospital. The meal times are the same. The meals themselves are about the same. The only real difference is that there's lights out a little bit earlier, it seems. I've had the lights turned out on me at about 9:15, which is a little bit earlier than the other place. It's like camp. And then the nurses come in the morning at about 6:30 for wake up and to take my temperature and blood pressure, which is not like camp. So they take my temperature and blood pressure 4 times a day here. I'm not sure why 4 times a day. At the previous hospital it was only once a day. I'm not sure why they're keeping closer track of that here when the patients are generally more medically stable than at the acute care hospital. But it's what they do, and so it's nice to know, sort of, 4 times a day how my heart's doing. Alright, so that's it for me. Some of the similarities and differences between these hospitals, and I will keep you updated on other stuff that I notice about life while I'm here. Alright, see you next time.